This is a nuke ops round, or I guess more precisely, a lone operative round aboard Vulture Station on Elk Ridge. This is also during like the whole dynamic testing, but I don't really think that quite affects how is going to happen in this event. They're still just a lone op. Nothing really changes that. They have to nuke the station. They have spawned nearly an hour in and took very little time to actually prep. They are immediately heading to the station. Let me actually turn on the lights so we can see them. Yes, it is dark, but I'd rather be able to see them. They are heading straight to cargo itself, and there are people in cargo. There's pretty much always somebody in cargo, but it does not seem they care too much about being quiet. Energy Sword is definitely audible. No one here seems to be too concerned with looking at it right away. Well, they're definitely in vision now to see them. They have slid straight into the quartermaster's room and are actually getting bit by a space adder. That's a really unfortunate thing. This is certainly not the first time I have seen Nukies do this. They just randomly ran over free SWAT crates. I don't know how the SWAT crates quite ended up in space. I'm assuming it's because there's actually a Paradox clone that is just hiding on the ATS. They docked with the ship first, but I think they saw the person who they thought was HOS, which, I mean, how would you know otherwise? The only suspicious thing is, why would an HOS be alone on the ATS? But small spoiler alert, that is actually a Paradox clone. A few minutes pass, and then they finally show up. They basically make the clone drop some of their stuff, which kind of just ends up floating away, but it actually floats right towards the ship, so it's not a big deal. But I can't, at this point, tell if they were trying to work together, if this is like a hostage situation or not. But to cut some time out, because this is all just prep, the Nukie basically just built the cargo computer here. They just slapped in the computer board. They emagged it so there'd be no notifications. And they have ordered Tesla generators and PA computer stuff to be able to shoot Teslas, to create Teslas. If you have watched the series for a while, this is not the first time that this has been seen. Last time, though, was with Singularities, not Teslas. They are also enlisting the help of the Paradox clone to help them organize the crates that they need, but they are just cutting open the secure crates with an energy sword. No one on the station knows that they're actually on the ATS purchasing this stuff. Plus, even if they did, they'd have to organize a group enough that's strong enough to take on the lone op, and also have presumed that they were using the ATS itself for staging. It's really hard to load up people quickly in a spaceship, fly hundreds of meters away from the station to the ATS on a gamble that somebody might be there. Skipping ahead just a tiny bit, they are cutting up all of the Tesla boxes. They have the full PA computer in here. They have 7 Tesla generators, might have been an 8th, I didn't quite count it all. They're using the Paradox clone to help them with organizing the boxes as well, but there is quite a bit of prep, as you can imagine, required to set up. You skipped ahead to the part where the particle accelerator is set up. There wasn't really much else done other than, well, then they now both have suits. Well, one already had the suit. So the Paradox clone is directly working with the nuke op, which makes sense. Their goal is to kill their original. Pretty likely to kill your original with a Tesla. Not exactly guaranteed, but pretty likely. And what they are saying is definitely true. The nuke disk will always live. However, Teslas can delete the nuke, so that could technically make nuking the station impossible, but you could argue that the station being deleted from a Tesla is no different than a nuke, which a Tesla basically guarantees that. The plan is now in full action. They are turning on the particle accelerator, which is just firmly strapped to the side of the ship, and are now flying directly to the station in order to deliver the payload, so to speak. It's in a pretty inconspicuous part of the station. It's just kind of out here in this like maintenance wing area, and they are just trying to throw themselves in the path of the particle accelerator. And there we go. The first Tesla has been established right in space, eating through the station. All you have to do is place the Tesla coil, emag it, and you are good to go. The safety restrictions are lifted. The station is already doomed at this point. There is no counterplay to a Tesla once it is released. All you have to do is build a PA yourself, put a little Tesla thing in front of it, and emag it, and the station is guaranteed gone. At this point now, it is just for fun and flexing. They have plenty more to go through. Distant sounds of the booms from the Tesla can be heard as they fly to another part of the station, pretty much opposite side, and are once again about to do the same thing. Place the flat pack, multi-tool it, and emag it. The timing of that one was almost a little questionable. I feel like they were half a second away from emagging it too quickly and eating themselves, which would have been kind of funny. But nope, there are now 2 Teslas present on the station. 2 Teslas isn't enough, of course. Must do 3. This one is actually being placed right at Atmos. It has now been emagged after the shot passed, flying by, and there is another Tesla. So now there are 3 on the station. If the distant booms aren't clear enough of how much damage is being done, it's a lot. It's 3 Teslas. Pretty much impossible to stop it directly. And now we are up to 4 Teslas. I must mention that the constant explosion sounds is just honestly sounds really cool, and there's that many. It's very, very looming, flying towards the station for a 5th one. Now there are so many Teslas on the station that they are having a hard time even getting to a spot to land at that isn't already being actively destroyed by a Tesla. I mean, let me just pause for a second just so we can observe the damage. The station is already pretty much flattened. Just, I mean, there's 4 Teslas on a fairly smallish map. This isn't a giant map. Just the damage is on another level. The Teslas are so much more destructive than singularities. And there's, I mean, you couldn't stop 6 singularities either, but there's really no way to stop Teslas once they're getting going. So we are up to, I almost lost count. I think we're up to 5 now. Almost ate themselves. That was nearly another death. Thankfully, the AoE of the Tesla for them isn't gigantic, so they're once again fine, and the station is not so fine. The real head of security actually just flew by for a second, but in usual space combat fashion, there is little to no chance that you can do anything against a shuttle if they just fly away. Even if they tried to board, they could have just FTL'd. Pretty much there's nothing that his security can possibly do to stop this at this point. I mean, they can't stop the Teslas, but they can't even get revenge. It's pretty much impossible. As I was just speaking about how pretty much impossible it is to board, well, I guess if the pilot leaves the ship, it's very possible. A ninja has flown out here and actually managed to find the shuttle. I don't know how the hell they managed to find it randomly out here, because they definitely have IFF turned on, because you just follow the particle shots. I thought my replay crashed, but I guess it technically did. There's so much going on that my replay is literally frozen. Let me see if I can fix this. They actually placed a 7th flat pack, but they seemingly forgot to unflat pack it, or they just had to go before they were able to do it. The replay is really struggling at this point. I've been having to spend like 30 minutes trying to get it to load at this point, and I seemingly got the load just so we could see the end of this. But yeah, the ninja's just kind of joining this now. The Revenant's kind of chilling here. Not like the ninja can really do much on the station when there's no power, if they haven't already completed their objectives, but considering there's a Revenant, it seems like the ninja has probably done their objectives. Seems like they are moving on to their 7th deployed Tesla. There's technically going to be 9, but I don't think the one actually got activated. They just placed a flat pack, but they didn't get activated. They just left it as a flat pack, unless the spectator really just screwed me there. But here is their 7th successful Tesla. The engineering Tesla has loose at this point, and it seems like the PA shots might be a little too far for this one. No, they got it. Yeah, they got it. So that is the 7th successful deployed Tesla. That is the 8th total, and I don't think the 9th one actually activated, but close enough. It was flexing past the first one, but yeah, they have... The station is beyond destroyed. I would be amazed if the nuke even exists. The crew gets a small respite from this. The automatic shuttle has been called at this point. Obviously, no one was able to call evac in time, and no one called evac. The station's utterly, entirely destroyed. A wizard spawned at this point, you know, just for the rubbing into the crew's face just a little bit more. Oh, okay. I thought they actually managed to teleport to the ship, but that's just a global sound. That would have been extra funny if that was possible. Oh, they summoned guns, so free C20. That's if the station... I guess the station could shoot at the Teslas in anger at this point. The Nukie has now flown over to the ATS once more. I'm assuming the nuke disc was brought here. I'm not 100% sure what actually happened at this point. Getting this replay to work has been an absolute struggle. It seems people who are left on the AT, or anyone who survived flew all the way to the ATS. I don't know if they just broke that window just to space the ATS just to make sure every single last person is dead. They have made no attempt at this point to even try to secure the disk, wherever that may be. I'm sure it's been eaten and respawned, but they can track it down. But yeah, since the replay just literally ends right there, I have no idea if they ended up getting the disc. There's no end screen, so I can't even check through the end screen if they ended up getting the disc. It just ended right here. Either way, they could have technically just gone and got the disc. If it was destroyed by the Tesla, it would have respawned anywhere, and they're immune to the Teslas like lightning and stuff, so all they would have done is picked it up. So at the least, they definitely got the Syndicate miner, but they never really made any attempt to actually go and get the disc, so they pretty much killed every single person on the station. Let me actually just go, just as a final hurrah, let's go see how bad the damage truly is. As you can see, it's obviously pretty pitch black. There's nothing left. Yeah, it's flattened. There's an occasional wall somewhere. But the Kudzu retook the station. There's a few walls in some of the northern sections, but they successfully got 8 Teslas off, so 7 off directly, the 8th loose from engineering because there was nothing left to contain it. And I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were supposed to have 9 total, but I think they didn't unflat pack it, at least what I saw from the Spectator. Either way, it's a really big difference between 8 or 9 Teslas. It was doomed. I could probably fly around looking for the disc. Maybe somebody managed to pick it up. Maybe the captain actually survived. I don't know. Don't think it's really relevant. This station is beyond doomed. I think the Syndicate agents would probably be happy with this unless they really just wanted the nuke and the nuke disc on. That's a different discussion for a different day. Well, don't think there's much else I could possibly say about this. I think the Syndicate won today. Thank you for watching.